The boys are back in town. Welcome to a very special edition of Sport Ball with Squam, Stogie, and Skulldog.
Why is this a special edition, would you say?
I'm your boy Sam. It's special because with me in person are Seth and Kyle, my good friends. Boys, how was your hiatus?
It's been lovely. I had a wonderful summer, traveled around, and moved to Chicago, so...
He's back.
Yeah, I didn't do much. You know me.
Yeah. But it says there's Adventure Brewing on your shirt, so something's brewing.
Yeah, it's in the mountains. Never been.
Speaking of brewing, did we or do we not just spill an entire solo cup worth of latte?
It's a Oaxacan.
This is why we need
latte.
an AV guy. So here's what we're here to do. First of all, we're not taking prisoners. We never have. Secondly, we're here to preview the NFL season, which actually I realized we've never done before in this podcast because our first podcast ever was in October and it was a preview of the NBA season. And then we followed that up with Ass or Grass, our mid-season segment that honestly drew millions of viewers.
We gotta bring that back.
Yeah, of course. So, think of this as more of a preseason Ass or Grass.
Of course.
And we want to just take a look at the NFL offseason and then kind of make our predictions for the season, which I would say usually don't pan out, right? So if you're a betting man or woman,
don't bet on us.
Avoid this podcast. Yeah. Let's first talk about maybe the weirdest news story in some time, the most surprising, I would say. Andrew Luck retiring. Where were you when you got the news? Were we together?
I was with you.
Yeah, me and Seth were in my car, and
Were
I said,
you?
"Wow, Andrew Luck retired." He said, "Wow."
Where was
It
I?
was wild.
It was a Saturday night. Let me set the scene.
I remember it well. Actually, I don't remember it well. Where was I? I was, I think I was just at home. You know.
Yeah.
Doing what I do best, watching Shark Tank.
Well, what do you guys think about Andrew Luck retiring? As it pertains to the Colts, the NFL season. Anything you want to add?
Good for Andrew Luck on retiring and deciding that he's not going to have injuries from his career ruin his life in the future. I mean, obviously he's been dealing with stuff ever since he's been in the NFL. And, you know, props to him for saying, I'd rather just live a happy life and not be hurting every day. So that's good. Obviously came as a shock. However, I think a lot of people are doubting Jacoby Brissett when they shouldn't be. So 2017, that's what everyone thinks about when they think
look
of,
at 2017
yeah, you
numbers.
can. When they think about Jacoby Brissett. He got traded from New England like 2 weeks before the season started. Started, I think, the second or third week of the regular season. And honestly, wasn't even terrible. But they had the worst... No, they had the worst offensive line in football at the time.
Yeah.
Their only competent receiver was really T.Y. Their
you.
running backs were Frank Gore and a young Marlon Mack.
Oh, in the prime of life.
Frank Gore, who 2 years ago was in his late 50s.
The thing is, like, yeah, people compared to 2017, and this Colts team is completely different, right?
And they had Pagano as the
it's like
coach
they
at
have
the
Frank
time.
Reich now. They have an offensive line that's one of the best in the league. Their defense got way better.
They're one of the
Marlon Mack
smartest
is now
GMs in the league who's
good running
bolstered
back.
every position.
Yeah, and also he's been with the team now for 2 years, so he knows the system. I mean, I don't think he'll be as good as Andrew Luck, but he'll be, I think, passable. I mean, he's better than like probably 10 starting quarterbacks. He's better than Marcus Mariota.
Here's the thing:
Who isn't, though?
he has always been known for his delightful deep ball.
Ooh,
Delightful.
when you paid me with words like that.
And on top of that, he's got legs like everyone else, but he uses them and can run.
He has legs and arms.
So
I can confirm that.
you can kind of compare him to a mobile Nick Foles.
I don't like that at all. I'd rather compare him to a good quarterback.
I mean, Nick Foles throws a good
Super
ball,
Bowl
right?
hero,
But he doesn't
Nick
move.
Foles.
That's true.
So now you have T.Y. as a deep threat still. Someone that could throw him a deep ball. And someone that could run when the pocket collapses.
I can't wait till Kyle tells us the Colts are still going to the Super Bowl.
I know.
I'm off that, but I do think they could win their division.
Wow. Spoilers. That's what we're going over next.
Yeah, we'll get there.
Stay tuned, though, children. Actually, if you're a child, please see yourself to bed and get in it. Yeah.
For my 2 cents on Andrew Luck,
Give me 3.
I agree with Kyle. I also understand like why Colts fans would be upset with him, and I mean, just like
The timing was poor.
the timing was poor. Kind of screwed them over a little bit. Like they're thinking they're going into the team is thinking it's going into the year with Andrew Luck as its quarterback, and then suddenly, a few weeks before the season, they realize they're not.
Right.
But I'm sure Andrew Luck didn't do that intentionally.
No.
It was just where he was at the time.
Yeah.
And
I think they said like they knew a couple of weeks, or the team like knew it was probably going to happen a couple weeks before, but
No, he told like 6 people.
But it accidentally got leaked like during the game, which was
It got leaked during the game, yeah.
So as a fan, you're like watching the game, and then he's on the
Right.
sideline, so that's kind of where the booing started. But
right. And I do think there have been a lot of people who had the same reaction as Kyle, like, this is good for him. And I think that's good that we're bringing some humanity into the way we think about sports stars and understanding that they're people. At the same time, like, we're cheering for the team. And so this is something that is negative for the team. So it's understandable to be upset, but I'm not endorsing the booing.
no.
And yeah, I think Jacoby Brissett's probably like a top 20, 25 quarterback in the league. So he's not going to be like the reason that they succeed, but I don't think he'll
Be the reason
completely
they failed.
crater the team either.
Right. Yeah, some people have been like, oh, they should just tank for Tua. It's like, they're not going to tank. Like, they're way too good to tank.
Yeah, they're way too good to tank.
I mean, and their quarterback is definitely passable. Like, you should be tanking.
I think he's better than half the league. I'd put him at like 15, 16.
Let's
I haven't
fucking,
gone through
let's
the
go
list.
through it. Fuck it. Yeah, we're here. All right, well, we
I have
got...
to pull up a list of everyone.
in the top tier, I'd say Patty.
Yeah, you got Pat and Deshaun in a tier of their own.
Pat and Deshaun, that's 2. Russell Wilson, we'll put up there.
He is not 3, but that's...
Well,
No,
right,
but
in no particular
next
order,
tier.
but in descending order.
Tom Brady.
Aaron Rodgers. Drew Brees. Ben Roethlisberger.
Dare I say Phillip Rivers?
No.
Phillip Rivers, yeah.
No.
You think Jacoby Brissett is better than Phillip Rivers?
Philip's so old now.
I fucking hate Phillip Rivers, and I'm still saying that Phillip is
I
better
mean, he has
than him.
20 kids, but...
At
He
least.
could field an entire offensive side of a football team.
We're putting Phil, but it's not negotiable.
Matt Ryan?
Matt Ryan.
for sure.
Carson Wentz, I would say. If he's healthy.
Yes,
Cam
Carson.
Newton.
Trubisky.
That's debatable,
It
honestly.
is, honestly.
I mean, I don't care about him.
Dak Prescott?
Yeah, Dak. I'll put,
What are we at?
If we put Trubisky, we're at 13.
Kirk Cousins, perhaps? I'd say that's
Yeah.
right on the
probably.
line.
Sure. We'll put Kirk. Hamas?
Did we say Cam already?
Yeah.
Okay.
Jameis Winston? Notable
It's right
rapist.
around there.
I would put him above.
Crab Stealer.
Did we even say Baker?
Oh, no. Baker.
Oh my
for
god.
sure.
Or Lamar?
Yeah, I would put him over him.
Alright, never mind. I take back what I
But
said.
I think he's probably around 20.
Yeah.
He's top 20.
Yeah.
He might be on the cusp of 1920.
Right,
So
yeah.
like 20, 25 is what I said originally.
I'd
Yeah,
say
but you were
top
wrong.
20.
Alright, so I'm glad we settled that.
That was nice.
Yeah, I think, the whole booing thing was like, some people who don't know, it got leaked, I think, during like the fourth quarter of our preseason game, and Andrew Luck was on the sideline, right? And the fans started booing him. And I understand, like, I don't condone the booing, like you said, but I'm sure it was a very confusing and, disappointing situation for everyone there. But props to Andrew Luck, and it's funny how we say, like, like, oh, thank God he got out. Like, they're in, like, the army or something, and like we
Right.
still watch it and try to push down the fact that we know that they might be ruining the rest of their lives with injuries.
I was
But
actually,
I
I was listening to Bill Simmons' podcast the other day,
Mhm.
which I normally don't do when he talks about football, but I was desperate.
you don't usually listen to when he talks about football.
No, we've talked about this before.
Only
You
when
always tell
Cousin
me
Sal's
after.
on.
Oh yeah, that's my favorite podcast.
So his cousin Sal was down, and they're doing Parent Corner, and cousin Sal was saying how his kids started playing football, and his wife said one concussion.
yeah. See, I don't think I would even let my kids play football.
No.
I mean, like, I don't know. It's just too risky.
If I had a kid right now, I'd be training him to be an esports god.
See, that's nice and safe. Yeah, I don't know, man. It's tough. Anyway, so let's just continue previewing the sport that causes...
We all hate.
Yeah. What else happened in the offseason that's notable?
2 top-tier running backs are holding out.
It seems like contract negotiations with Melvin Gordon and
so the thing with Melvin Gordon is the Chargers told him you're free to go ahead and find a trade partner and go talk to other teams. And then just late last night, they said that all contract negotiations with Melvin Gordon are done until the end of the season. So they're not even going to discuss contracts anymore with him. He's either signing what he has or he's not playing.
Which is great for me and Kyle because we have Austin Eckler on our dynasty team.
I have Austin on every team I think I have.
And we also have Josh Gordon, so it's been a fruitful offseason for us, you might say. So I think that one, I think Zeke will sign. So the other one is Ezekiel Elliott, who is holding out with the Cowboys, and it seems like they may be closer than Melvin and the Chargers are to a deal.
So
there was who really knows anything?
There was a report just this morning with Zeke where him and the Cowboys had discussions late Sunday night, and that a deal's still not close. So they just promoted a running back from their practice squad to the active roster because Zeke isn't seen to be signing anytime soon.
See, what I don't get is like
he has no leverage in this situation.
But I just don't get why people say like running backs are so useless. Like, okay, I realize that like usually the best player on your team isn't a running back if you like win the Super Bowl, right? But still, Zeke is going from Zeke to like Tony Pollard is like going from fucking Kevin Durant to.
It's completely different. Those are apples and oranges. You can't compare that. The thing is with running backs, it's like the reason I'm in the camp that running backs don't matter is what matters is the offensive line. Mm-hmm. If you're going to have, a line like Dallas has, a top 5 line in the league, you can put a replacement level player there, and there's still going to be holes for them to run through and gain 15, 20 yards at a time.
But they're not going to be they're not going to have the high ceiling that Zeke does to break that into a 90-yard game,
Tony Pollard does. Tony Pollard's an even better receiver.
Are you telling me my left butt cheek is as good as Kevin Durant?
I told you it's apples and oranges. You can't compare it.
But the thing is with the Cowboys, if they truly believe that running backs are replaceable, and that's why they're not giving Zeke.
Then why did they draft Zeke at 4th overall or whatever it was in the
Because
draft?
that's the thing. You could. I keep saying I know running backs don't matter, but if you can get an above average running back at a cost that is below market value, like on a rookie contract, then it's worth it. But when they start demanding money that should be given to like a quarterback or to, the left tackle or left guard or whatever it may be to improve the rest of the team and make things easier on the running back, you don't give them that money.
Maybe the contract he's asking for is ridiculous, but like they fucking matter. Like it's not like if you have a below average running back versus Zeke that like it doesn't matter at all.
Certainly matter on my fantasy team.
Much I know. If I was the Cowboys and I had Super Bowl aspirations, I would be very nervous about going to the playoffs with that.
But I mean, Todd Gurley's getting paid more than any running back in the NFL, and like all of a sudden his health now is. They take such a beating
true too.
That it's hard to invest that much money into a player who has a higher chance of risk or of injury than any other player on the field.
That's a fair point. But it's funny that you say that too because we just had that discussion about injuries. It's like, okay, if I was a running back, I'm like, all right, I'm playing a position where I have the most chance to get injured, and yet I get paid, less than a quarterback who barely gets touched.
So from the running back's perspective, it's like I'm going out here and risking my body every day. Mm-hmm. Like I should have some insurance for this. So I wonder if this is going to become the norm every year, where we're going to have one or two top tier running backs.
Last year.
Yeah.
But did it really work for Le'Veon though? He didn't get like as much money as he wanted.
No, he didn't.
And he also had to sit out a year. So maybe they're thinking
he lost like $20 million.
Yeah.
The top salaries at the running back position here. You ready?
Well, Todd's contract was obviously a mistake because he has arthritis his knee.
Then Lamar Miller has one of the highest paid.
Lamar is ass.
Top 10.
It's like Sam's right butt cheek.
Yeah, honestly.
David Johnson, great player, but only 3.6 yards per carry in his last full year, last year, and
He's
then
playing in the worst
injured in
offense in history.
2017. Yes, I agree. But
it's like you're saying though, they didn't have good offensive line.
yeah,
Right.
because and the coaching had a lot to do with it too.
But now they have Kyle's boy and secret lover, Cliff Kingsbury.
They have a secret. Wow. Devonta Freeman injured last year.
Devontae's ass, and you know that. Me and Kyle
How
have a bet
dare
where
you.
I'm betting against our own
Devontae.
team. So we have. I can tell the fans at home.
Of course, tell the fans.
We have. They want to hear about our fantasy team, right? We have Devonta Freeman on our dynasty team, and I hate him. And Kyle made us pick him, and I said I bet that he won't be a top 12 running back this year.
I said bet.
So
he's betting
either way,
against...
I win. If he is, and our team's good, I win emotionally. And if he isn't, and our team is bad, I still win money.
There you go.
I played the system.
And Jared McKinnon injured last year and on the IR now this year.
Yeah, so I think that's a good point. I think the injuries are what I wasn't considering. But I still think we're undervaluing them a little bit.
No chance.
I mean,
But I do agree. I mean, obviously, it's like, you're right, it's different. Like, Kevin Durant can lift an NBA team up to championship contention by himself, where Ezekiel Elliott can't lift a team up to championship contention by himself if they don't have at least, like, an average quarterback and an above-average offensive line, you know?
Yeah, I just feel like they already do have some of that infrastructure.
Right. So, might as well.
So they might as well pay him.
But
maybe they're thinking they can't win the Super Bowl regardless this year.
I doubt that.
I feel like
they could.
No, but the thing is also, like, Prescott, their quarterback, needs to get paid still, too. He hasn't signed a new contract. And Amari, who is...
A pooper.
Yeah. Amari needs to get paid, too.
Amari can't catch a fucking ball, though.
That's not true.
I hate him.
He was incredible.
I traded him to you and he got 200 yards in the game and he was on your bench.
Yeah, see, I didn't even need him. I had to let him know.
Sam's just
Put a little spark in his ass.
Spark his ass like 4th of
July.
July,
He was
baby.
pooping.
All I'm saying is my left butt cheek could bring the Cowboys to a Super Bowl. And I've said that many times.
I'll say it again.
Anything else we need to discuss about the offseason?
LaShawn McCoy, perhaps?
Yeah, LaShawn got cut from the Bills, and also we hate him because he spoiled Avengers Endgame.
And
You guys don't even have Twitters to know what he said.
he didn't spoil it for me.
Is it Twitter's? Wouldn't it be just Twitter?
We have
You
Twitter
guys,
accounts.
yeah, you each don't have. It was like a collective thing. You guys
It's like
don't have
fish
Twitters.
and fish. Yeah. Yeah, and didn't he also like beat up someone too?
I believe
he's
he
not
was
the
a
greatest.
perpetrator of domestic violence. Yes.
You never know. Most of them are, so it's
wouldn't say
it's
that.
tough sometimes. No, you're right. I'm sorry. It just seems overwhelming sometimes with the amount of reports that come out. But he now got picked up by the Chiefs.
Right.
Not surprising.
Which really has more of a fantasy impact than real football impact, I would assume.
I wonder if he's gonna be. Do you think he's gonna be like a 2-down back and then Damien's coming in, or like what are they gonna do? Or is he's just behind Damien?
Yeah. I think they had, there's so much hype about Darwin Thompson over the offseason just out of nowhere. And the man was a 6th-round pick from one of the worst conferences in college football. Yes, he's athletic, but he wasn't even like a bell cow back in that terrible conference on his terrible team. Like, I don't know why people are getting all crazy about needing to draft Darwin Thompson in fantasy football when...
I didn't need to draft him.
Yeah, I mean... So I think LaShawn McCoy is just going to come in and fill that role that Darwin was supposed to have. And it's like, he's been with Andy Reid before. He somewhat knows the system. Mm-hmm. Granted, it was like 9 years ago, but...
Yeah.
I don't think...
Yeah, it's not big.
Damian Williams has
real life.
Any worry.
I didn't draft him anyway, so who cares? It's only my team that matters.
Obviously.
Should we start previewing the season or whatever? Because we're 19 fucking minutes in and we haven't done anything useful.
This is all
Sure.
useful.
Useful. We named out like 25 quarterbacks just in a list.
I just took out a massive beard hair. Look at this.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Does
Looks
that
like a
fucking turn
pube.
you on? Alright, so let's start with the NFC, shall we? And we're going in an order that I picked randomly, okay? And we're going to go through... I'm just thinking we'll just go by division, name our division winners, and then name the wild cards.
Okay.
Yeah? This is a preview for the upcoming season. So, here we go. We're starting with the NFC North. It has a place in all of our hearts.
Sure does.
A soft spot, you might say.
My heart is mush.
I can only imagine we're just going to pick our teams to win the division and we can move on.
Agreed.
I'll be taking the Bears. And Kyle will be as well. I'm sure Seth will be taking the Vikings. This will be interesting because I think the Vikings are going to be better than last year. And I think the Packers are going to be better than last year. So there's a good chance, and the Bears have a very difficult schedule. There's a good chance 3 teams make the playoffs out of this division. Maybe not a good chance, but there's certainly
a possibility,
a puncher's chance that 2 of them grab the wild card. So,
why do we think the Vikings are going to be better than last year?
Seth, why don't you opine?
Well, I would hope that Kirk Cousins will be better than he performed last year when every 5th pass got deflected by the defensive line.
That's some Pop Warner shit.
I don't know if... I mean, he's a relatively young quarterback. I don't know if it's reasonable to expect him to, like, get better at his skills, but maybe just more integrated into what the Vikings are trying to do and more familiar with the...
But they changed their offensive system in the middle of last year.
Exactly. So the second half of last year really didn't have much time to get things going. So hopefully having that experience and everything coming together during the off season, and I think Dalvin Cook will be healthier and ready to go this year. Of course, running backs matter, so
yeah.
We'll see how it goes. I mean, I don't think it'll be astronomically different than last year, but
I think the Vikings
just
are
optimistic because it's the preseason and they haven't disappointed me yet.
I think the Vikings are maybe one of the most interesting teams in the league this year because on paper they should have been a Super Bowl contender last year, right? And they went 7-8-1, and then they should be a Super Bowl contender this year on paper because they're the same, maybe a little better. But are we supposed to expect that anything's changed? You know, it's just tough to evaluate.
Yeah, it's interesting because the change in their offensive coordinator is what really, I don't know how it's going to go, considering last year, before they changed, they had DeFilippo, who's now in Jacksonville, and he had Kirk Cousins throwing, like, I think 36 times a game or something. And the last part of the season, once they got rid of him and whoever their new offensive coordinator is now, they had him throwing like 24 times a game and just basically pounding the run. So I don't know how it's going to go. That's why I just was curious.
Yeah, it's kind of similar situation with the Packers, right? Where maybe we're expecting they were a playoff team last year and they disappointed and not much has changed, but yet
they have a new coach.
So kind of similar.
Matt LaFleur.
And maybe their defense got a little better with some acquisitions. So I think it's going to be a very tough division.
I mean, I feel like still any team with Aaron Rodgers has a chance of making the playoffs.
Yeah. And the Bears, I'm real nervous about our schedule.
Yeah, we do have one of the toughest schedules.
Like, I could definitely see us missing the playoffs. But
I don't think we missed the playoffs, but I don't know if we win the... I'm going to say we win the NFC North, but I wouldn't be surprised as being a wild card team.
For sure. And, like, it's funny because I feel like last year we were, by a lot of metrics, like a top 5 team in the NFL, you know, and that's what it seemed like. And we just lost in the first round.
Barely.
The
double doinked their way out.
And now it just seems like people... I think our over-under is like, 9.5? It's pretty low. So, I don't know.
Yeah, but I think that has to do with the schedule that we have.
Yeah, that's fair.
And
but if you're a top 5 team, you beat good teams.
We have... So. I mean, the one thing that I'm nervous about is we knew how good the Bears defense was last year. And obviously we retained the majority of those players, but we also got rid of our defensive coordinator.
Right, that's
so,
true too.
You know, it's going to be interesting to see how that changes scheme-wise, considering the Athletic they polled just coaches randomly in the league, and almost every single coach said that the defense that they worry most about going up against this year is Denver because of
Big Fangio.
Because of Fangio.
Yeah.
His defensive schemes are just the hardest to figure out.
Right.
So now I don't know, what are we going to do with... Pagano's not like a slouch by any means.
No.
And I think he's getting a bad rap because of his time in Indy when he was the coach, but it was like he had to coach the whole team. He wasn't just focused on what he was best at.
He's best at being a coordinator, so that's what he's in the right job now. So
we still got the Khalil Mack truck though, so
bring it up.
50 Deuce. That's his Twitter handle.
5th and Deuce.
50 Deuce.
50 Deuce.
Yeah, he's 52.
Stupid. All right, let's move on.
I think we can all agree the Lions will not be winning the division.
Yes.
They're ass cheeks.
They're straight cheeks, homie.
That Patricia might be the first coach fired.
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding. It's probably not him, but
it could be. Anyway, let's go to the East, which is another real interesting division, I think.
Is he going to say that for every division, do you think?
It's between two teams in this division, in my opinion.
Oh, yeah, it's not that interesting, I guess. Why don't you guys start on this one, huh?
So, I have a feeling everyone here is going to say the Eagles. So
you don't know me.
I'm gonna zag and go the Cowboys. Running backs don't matter, and we're gonna feel it in full effect, baby.
See, I went Eagles because I'm nervous about Zeke. And running backs do matter. Although I will say that the Cowboys, look at their schedule right now. They have a really easy beginning schedule, so like they could already be like 4-0, and Zeke's still holding out.
Yeah, they got the Giants, the Redskins, and the Dolphins.
Yeah, so
to start, and then they're Saints, but they're in the dome there, so
dome. But also, I just don't. I feel like everyone's like, "Oh, Dak's like getting better," but because of Pooper. But I think Amari.
It has nothing to do with. Well, I mean, kind of does, but at the same time, they also have a new offensive coordinator now, in Kellen Moore, who's young and should install some better plays in terms of getting ancillary parts involved.
You really took a swing.
Is that wasn't he quarterback for the Browns back in the day?
Oh,
I think you're right. Yeah,
he's like lefty, right?
Yeah. Didn't he play for the Cowboys too?
Yeah, I might have.
Cowboys?
Yeah, I think the Browns too. The Browns have had so many quarterbacks that are ass.
I assume.
The one thing I'll say is I'm just not a Dak believer or Amari Cooper believer, and I think they're both going to regress this season, so that's another reason.
We both listed Dak as a top 15 quarterback just a second ago.
Yeah, but to the lower end. That was in no particular order.
But in descending order.
Yeah, because you started with the best and then ended with the worst. But
exactly.
No order.
I also need the Eagles to win the division because Carson Wentz is on one of my fantasy teams, and I need him healthy. So
I just like the Eagles.
See, that's your problem. You have different quarterbacks in all your different leagues, whereas me,
just James.
I'm all in on one quarterback. If he flops, I flop. How dare you? I just ate that dub.
Do you also eat the stolen crab from the supermarket? Eagles, right?
I think it'll be the Eagles. Although one of my two true loves in life is Saquon Barkley. So, but I mean, even if he's the MVP, they're not going to win the division.
This would be a different story if they were just right off the bat starting Daniel Jones. Then I think they would have somewhat of a fighting chance. And Sterling Shepard didn't have a 4-game suspension for the dumbest thing.
That was Golden Tate who has.
But yeah, that's what I meant.
For a fertility drug.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, the guy can't have babies, so he can't play in the NFL.
We don't want anyone barren on our NFL. All right, let's go to the NFC South. Another maybe spicy one. I think that 3 of the teams will be frisky. In other words, not very good. And then one of the teams will win, being the New Orleans Saints, which I know is whatever, the normal pick, but they're just the best team, so whatever.
I have a hard time figuring out how anything is gonna be different than last year. I feel like I say this every year, and then every year it's completely different.
Yeah, usually half the playoff teams are different, yet we never see it coming.
Yeah.
I mean, I have a few changes coming up. But, I can tell you, but I think the Vikings made the playoffs this year. They didn't make the playoffs last year, so that's
I think the Vikings win this division.
This division?
Or not Vikings, Falcons.
I'm sorry. Picture this: the Vikings switch divisions.
Yeah.
I can see.
That's how they do it.
I think Falcons and Carolina could be decent.
I think Carolina's gonna be ass. I just don't believe in Cam. Everyone's like, "Oh, he's healthy now." I'm like, "Yeah, but 2 games in, he's not gonna be healthy." Yeah.
That could be.
And what else do they have going for them? And
2 of the best youngest wide receivers in the NFL.
We had both of them.
The best running back in the NFL.
This is another thing Kyle made me do on our dynasty team. We drafted 2 Carolina Panthers.
We didn't draft them. We picked them up.
Yeah, okay, fine, but they're not good.
They're both good.
Cam only completes 47% of his passes.
He had an injured throwing shoulder.
They're both just Devin Funches.
They're not. Devin Funches is complete ass.
Exactly.
Then again,
so are they.
I'm gonna eat my words halfway through the season when he's good with the Colts because of the offensive scheme too.
Well, get ready to eat those words along with your W. I think the Falcons and the Saints are the real players here. I don't think the Bucs defense is just too bad.
Yeah.
The Falcons are going to have one of, I think, a top 3 to 5 offenses in the NFL this year.
I hate the Falcons.
You always have.
I would never pick them to make the playoffs. I would be a little worried about Breeze regressing, though, because he already basically, was really accurate but on short throws last year and is, 40, 41?
Too old.
I guess that doesn't matter anymore, though, huh?
I think he's got another year in him.
Yeah. I mean, they should have probably made the Super Bowl the last 2 years, but they lost on the mini miracle and on what some may consider a bad missed call.
Yeah.
It was also bad play calling, so I don't agree with that, but that's fine.
I knew he'd zig. Well, there's zag.
That's what he does.
Any other thoughts?
It was a bad play call. It's in the past. No, I got Atlanta for the South.
Good. All right. West, or as some call it, the West.
You know who I got?
I mean,
it's not the Rams.
Really? Oh, you're right. I'm sorry.
I'm deeply in love with Russell Wilson.
I just think
I made sweet love to him last night.
I think that is the one team they have to worry about. I don't think
Why?
the Cardinals are big. I think the Cardinals' offensive line will take them down. I think the Jimmy Garoppolo, I've heard some bad things this offseason, so I'm a little nervous about him on the 49ers.
Yeah.
So I would think the Seahawks and the Rams are fighting for this division, but it's not really going to be a fight.
Well, the Seahawks just got Jadeveon Clowney, and he seems good, or he used to be.
Yeah, but the rest of their defense is still complete ass.
Yeah, probably.
And now
but
almost all of their wide receivers that they had coming into the season are injured besides Tyler Lockett.
They don't need another one.
When you have Russell Wilson, you don't need any other players.
I just feel like every year we're like like last year, I was like, I think on this podcast I said they're ass, and then they just made the playoffs.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That's what they do.
Yeah.
Watch out for the Cardinals.
You really think so?
You know how much of a believer I am in Cliff Kingsbury.
Is he not just going to be another Chip Kelly?
Kyler
That's what I
Murray.
don't understand.
He's not, no. They
Why
run
not?
different style of offenses.
I
Chip
never
Kelly's
know going from
he's
college
not
to the
good.
NFL, like what's going to happen, you know?
Well, it hasn't happened yet, so it's hard to
That being
say.
said, I guess Chip never had a Kyler Murray
What I'm really hoping
and
for,
a David Johnson.
hear me out here. So
That's your running backs don't matter.
this is what I want to happen next year. So we got Cliff now in the NFL. Next person we need to see is Lincoln Riley from Oklahoma.
Mm-hmm.
He needs to go to Miami.
But they don't have anyone for him to work with. Oh, you think they'll tank for Tua, as they say?
Not just that, they've already sold half their team over the last week, and they have 5 first-round picks next year.
Jesus Christ.
They have 4 the year after in the first round, and then they have like an additional 3
tanking.
second-round picks.
Why aren't more teams doing this?
It's the process in the
Trust
NFL.
It doesn't happen as often in the NFL, though.
And they have this. They have the second most amount of cap space next offseason too. The Colts still have the first.
Of course, as they always will. Yeah, I don't think the Cardinals are going to do anything this year, but I think they're going to be exciting with Kyler.
It'd be fun to watch, but they're not going to be a good team, I don't think.
Yeah.
You think below 500?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, they were the
Should we
worst
make a
offense in the league last year, so even
Yeah,
if they get considerably better, they're still going to be
pack,
bad.
Yeah. Well, let's make a bet.
All right, what do you want to bet?
Well, it's similar to the Browns.
500 or better?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
3-way
take
bet.
500 or better. 3-way.
Yeah.
All right, $20.
So I'm betting each of you guys $10 each. It seems like.
Yeah.
Deal.
That's fine.
Deal. Shake on it. You saw it here first.
All right, let me put it in.
Put it on the board, baby.
Sam, I don't know why you and I shook hands on that one.
I don't either. All right, should we move on to the wild card?
Sure.
So, I guess we already talked about this, but I have the Vikings as one of them. But I really don't like that they lost that game against the Bears in the last game of the season, where it was a must-win game for them and didn't matter for the Bears, and we just fucked them.
Yeah, I was at that game. It
Vikings.
was not my favorite game.
Yeah. We destroyed them. I was in Wisconsin at the time.
I was playing, what's that game that old people play in Florida? Shuffleboard. I was playing shuffleboard at the time.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I went to the game and we were sitting near some insufferable Bears fans. And
Most of us are insufferable.
Yeah, it was rather disheartening, to say the least. However, maybe that was the problem because the other game I went to last season was when we lost to the Bills. So maybe now that I've fled the entire state, that's why the Vikings.
Also, I don't know why that line was so high. The Bills weren't that bad last
They
year.
weren't, but at that point in the season, it was so early.
They were the best defenses.
Everyone thought they were terrible,
Yeah.
and then they ended up winning like 6 games. But.
Yeah. One of them against the Vikings.
Right. So
I have the Vikings as one of them. What's you guys' first wild card?
the Rams.
Oh, right, because you didn't pick them to win the division. Because you're insane.
Yeah, it'll probably be the Seahawks. Let's be real.
I have the Seahawks as my second wild card team, so I put them early ahead of the Packers, just because I feel like, I don't know, maybe they won't be better.
I have the Eagles.
I'll take the Bears as my second team.
This is tough because, so you have the Eagles as one. Who's the other one?
my other wild card is probably the Saints, even though I'm not happy about it.
Okay, so everyone go through your 6 teams right now. So I have the Bears, the Saints, the Rams, and the Eagles. And my wild card is the Vikings and Seahawks.
Yes, I have the Cowboys, the Bears, the Falcons, the Rams, wild card of Eagles, Saints.
Okay, so we have a few different teams. I think Sam and I have all the same teams, just in different spots.
Yeah.
Because I have Eagles, Vikings, Saints, Seahawks with the Rams and the Bears as wild card.
Seems like the NFC is very deep because I feel nervous about leaving out the Falcons, the Cowboys, and the Packers.
Yeah, I think any of those 3 teams could reasonably make the playoffs.
I think I could see all 3 of them being 9-7, 10-6. You know.
Yeah.
Just depends what happens because it hasn't happened yet.
Ah.
All right, well, we're halfway through. Kyle, time for an ad break. Yeah, I think you have the read in front of you.
This podcast is presented by Bird Box, your only place to go for your weekly bird delivery box. Thank you.
He went a little off script, but I think we did well there. Then get a Bird Box. Now let's go on to the AFC. I start with the North here as well. Okay, because I have the power to do such things. And I this one might be interesting. All 3 of us might have different teams for this. The AFC North.
The North.
I think there's legitimately 3 teams from here as well that could make the playoffs. Everyone really but
you were sleeping on Cincinnati
Bengals. But I'm going to take the Steelers to win the division. Because, and you might see one of the other teams later on, because I just feel like they're going to have a little fuck you attitude towards, like, oh, we can win without Antonio Brown and Le'Veon Bell. First of all, running backs don't matter.
And wide receivers don't matter.
So, I think Antonio Brown seems like he's pretty crazy, so maybe it's like kind of a weight lifting off their shoulders to not have him in the locker room. And Juju Smith-Schuster just as good as Antonio Brown? He honestly
might be better.
Yeah, so I don't see that being a downgrade. Le'Veon Bell to James Conner. Maybe James is just as good as Le'Veon. I mean, he certainly had better stats last year.
I mean, the man overcame cancer.
Exactly. What has Le'Veon fucking done? So, so I feel like you didn't downgrade that much in either of those positions that they lost. I feel like, Ben's going to throw 60 times a game, get 4,000 yards, and throw 50 touchdowns. And maybe not quite
50 touchdowns.
Maybe not quite those numbers, but and I think, I hear all this talk about the Ravens revolutionizing NFL offense, and I don't see it because their quarterback can't throw a football.
He can't.
That's why it's revolutionary.
Maybe he could throw a baseball. I don't know, but
that's why it's revolutionary. They're just not going to throw.
Yeah. What do you think? You're going to tell me why it's going to be revolutionary, aren't you?
No, I'm just going to go with the Browns. Baker Mayfield, one of the best young quarterbacks in the NFL.
One of the best mustaches in the NFL.
One of the best receivers
the
NFL has ever seen. Odell Beckham
Jr.
I mean, and they have a
great defense.
Yeah, their defensive front is like unstoppable.
I hear the offensive line might be the thing that's their downfall, though.
Yeah, I think they just traded for someone to upgrade that, though.
Okay.
I can't think of who it is.
I have them making the playoffs, but I don't have them winning the division. I think I'm buying the hype in that they're going to be a playoff team, but not necessarily they're going to win the Super Bowl.
I'm with Sam on this one. I think the Steelers feel like the safer bet. Maybe halfway through the season, the Browns hype will really take off.
They got a pretty easy schedule the first 6 weeks of the season. Like, they can come out after going to their bye week 4-2.
The Browns or the Steelers?
The Browns. The Browns start with the Titans and then the Jets. Then they have the Rams, but it's at least at home. And then the Ravens. So those are the 2 tough games. But then they have the 49ers and the Seahawks.
Well, Seahawks
they're screwed.
Might lose too. And they might lose to the Jets, honestly.
It could be.
Don't sleep on them. The city never sleeps.
The Jets, literally, I don't even think are rostering anyone on defense. That's how bad their defense is.
You don't need to roster anybody. Defenses don't matter. All right. Well, Seth, you picking the Steelers as well then?
Yeah, narrowly.
Good. I'm glad it's narrowly at least. The East. Do we even need to? I mean, I think we know who's going to win this division.
Don't sleep on the Jets.
Miami.
The city never sleeps.
The city never sleeps. Do you think Boston sleeps? We know that. And when they're sleeping, they'll strike.
Yeah, why are we even talking
Even
about
if
this?
Tom Brady keeps declining slightly, or precipitously, they're still
Yeah.
a great team, and they have Bill. So rest of the
Scully or
division is
otherwise?
ass as well. Yeah,
Yeah.
Bill Scully signed with the Patriots.
Thought he was finally retired.
He's building them a house. All right, let's move on to the NFC South. Now this one, also spicy, and I think
There's a lot of ifs that
ands or buts.
that determine.
I think everyone but the Titans could legitimately win this division because
Yes.
the Titans are ass, and Marcus Mariota is terrible. I'll tell you one thing: the Texans better win the division because on one of my fantasy teams I have Deshaun Watson, DeAndre Hopkins, and Will Fuller on the same
The
team.
fifth
So
or
I
the
basically
14th?
have the Houston Texans offense, the 14th.
You don't have Duke.
Johnson Jr. or otherwise?
Yeah.
I could trade for him.
No, probably not.
Well, you're gonna pick the Colts, aren't you?
No.
Wow.
He said earlier
Shocker.
he was gonna pick the Colts
Yeah,
and then
no.
twist ending.
So here's the thing. Like I said, there's a lot of ifs in this division.
And
Because it's like, if Houston's offensive line is still terrible, even though they traded for one of the better left tackles in the league,
Yeah.
then their defense isn't that great.
Mm-hmm.
So I could see the Colts winning more games.
I mean, they still have
Better
AJ.
defense, better offensive line, and better other weapons. Maybe.
Yeah, I mean, it's true. I mean, like, if the Colts were a Super Bowl favorite and all that had to change was their quarterback, and we think he's still a top 20 quarterback, I mean,
Yeah.
shouldn't we be saying that?
I wouldn't say they were a Super Bowl favorite, though.
Not
even
favorite,
with
but, like,
Nick
maybe in the
And
throw him in the mix, you know?
Jacksonville, if their defense resembles at all what their defense was 2 years ago, they now have a real quarterback.
Well,
I'm not hating on the boat by any means, but they now have a real quarterback.
he's the woat.
And Leonard Fournette's fully healthy.
Ugh, don't
And they
get
have
started
a
on that.
much better offensive coordinator.
Listen, I am out of the Jaguars. I stuck out my neck for the Jaguars on this podcast last year, and I said, listen, they almost made the Super Bowl last year. They're going to win the division. And what they do? They
Lost.
fucked me. And you know who else fucked me? Leonard fucking Fournette on my
Lenny.
fantasy team who decided not to show up for a team picture and got suspended and punches a guy and gets suspended.
I had him as well.
I'm out.
I hated it.
And Nick Foles isn't
I'm
even
back
that
on Lenny.
good. Nick Foles isn't even that good. I would put
Nick
Foles won a
Foles
Super
is
Bowl.
like Jacoby Brissett, but he
Doesn't
can't run.
I would put him below Jacoby
so good.
Brissett. So for saying that, I don't think they're going to win the division. If they have the third worst quarterback and won like 4 games last year, and Leonard Fournette's going to punch someone.
Yeah, they won 4 games last year with different players, different coaches.
Players
Like,
don't matter.
Coaches
it's
certainly
not-
don't matter.
You can't compare the two.
It's all about the GMs. That's the only thing that matters. I mean, yeah, they could win the division. I just hope they don't because I'm out on them.
I'll take the Colts, though.
You taking the Colts? You've decided? Jesus.
I'll go Texans.
I mean,
I think it's Deshaun's year.
yeah. I mean, last year he lost a lung, so if he grows it back this year, he should be good.
Yeah. It seems like reasonable expectations right there.
All right, West. Seth, why don't you start us off with the West?
Well, obviously Kansas City would be the prohibitive favorite. And I think
said, I'll take the Seahawks again.
that being said, Oakland. No. I don't, again, like, just thinking about what happened last year, I can't imagine how the Chiefs wouldn't run away with this division.
Only Mahomes gets injured, probably.
Yeah. The Chargers were pretty solid last year. Again, another case study to see if not having Melvin Gordon, more than likely, will make an impact on their offense. And who knows if Phillip Rivers can keep it going. Is he better than Jacoby Brissett?
He's
Some
not
might say.
even better than his kids.
Here's the thing. I'm pretty sure Phillip Rivers is just playing as long as he can until he's old enough to
Play
just
his kids.
give the reins to his oldest son. His
Phillip
son's going
Rivers
to be in the
Jr.?
NFL, and he's just going to give him the football and say, it's finally your turn.
How old is his son right now?
Like 4?
Like, yeah.
I'm actually, I'm going to go on a limb here and say the Chargers don't make the playoffs this year. That's right. Because,
I can see it.
you know what? I think Gordon matters. And they also, their best defensive player tore something.
Yeah,
and is out for the
Gordon
year.
doesn't matter, but their defense is not as good.
Yeah. And plus, every time they
Phillip
play in a
Rivers is a
fucking
year
soccer
older.
stadium with mostly fans of the other team. So
Yeah.
that's got to mean something, right? And their quarterback is 9 children. That's got to mean something, right? He's always distracted.
Right. I'll go with the Chiefs.
Cool. Yeah. All right. Let's go on to
Wild
wild
card.
card. So, I already talked about this, but I have the Browns as one of them because I'm buying the hype slightly.
I'm going to take the Browns and the Colts.
I think that's fair.
Yeah, I'm probably going Texans, Ravens.
Texans, Ravens.
Are the Ravens actually good? They have like no receivers. Their quarterback can't throw. I guess their defense is always decent, but the penis Terrell Suggs is off their team this year.
You know who he's on?
Yeah.
The Cardinals, baby.
He is. He is. But he's a fucking penis.
Why is he a penis?
Just look at he has no neck, and he's bald, so it kind of just looks like a penis.
He's got this like slit down the top of his head too.
A circumcised penis. Sorry, I want to be inclusive for us in the room.
What do you mean?
So anyway, my second team might shock you. The city that never sleeps, baby. The New York
Knickerbockers.
747 Boeings. This one might blow up in my face like the Knickerbockers.
Might.
Someone's got to take a fucking stand and pick a team that no one's thinking of, alright? Listen, let me make the case, okay?
Okay, I will.
They sneak in at 9-7. No one notices, okay?
Everyone's just looking at their calendars, their schedules. What the hell? What are the Jets doing on here?
I think Sam Darnold improves this year. There's a stat that, like, he's thrown the most interceptions as a rookie since... But the list is, like, Peyton Manning...
I feel like that's just because those are the quarterbacks who played, like, their whole rookie season.
Yeah, exactly.
Most quarterbacks, like, don't start until the middle of the year.
But he has red hair, too, so keep that in mind.
Okay.
All right, look at their early schedule, okay?
It's not
tough.
looking, but tell me.
It's going to be tough. The early schedule is going to be tough once they get past that, though. So they played the Bills, the Browns, the Patriots, the Eagles, and the Cowboys, and the Patriots again.
So 0-6?
So when they start 0-6, watch out.
We get through their whatever, 3-3. 3-4. We get through their 2-4.
They could beat the Bills.
We'll give us a win over the Bills, and we'll give us a win over the Browns.
The Cowboys.
Or the Cowboys.
I don't see them beating the Browns.
Easy. Doesn't matter. 2-4. Stay with me here. Okay, we're 2-4.
I'm with you.
Everyone's, whoa, what's happening in New York? The city's sleeping. Then we get to play the Jaguars, the Dolphins, the Giants, the Redskins, the Raiders, the Bengals, the Dolphins.
Okay, now.
That's what, 6-0?
3-3.
Probably.
So there we are, 9 wins. Throw away the last 2 games. I don't care. We're sneaking in at 9-7.
I'm just saying. The last 3 games, and it's the Ravens, Steelers, and Bills again.
If nobody panics through the first 6 games, we got a cakewalk for the middle of the season. They got Le'Veon Bell, and running backs matter, as you know. So that's a big.
It's the only position that does, really.
I think that'll help Darnold a lot with those short throws too, being able to pass to Le'Veon. Robbie is solid. Robbie Anderson and they got Jameson Crowder too, so they have a pretty good wide receiving core.
Did you look at Robbie Anderson's like ESPN picture?
Yeah, it's hilarious.
What the hell is that?
I don't know. So I'm just saying, if they get to the beginning of the year, just watch them in the middle. If they make a run there.
Yeah, I'm not gonna watch.
I mean, I won't watch them physically, of course.
I will.
But
I will watch every game.
Good. You let me know how they're doing.
Of every team.
I just thought, I'd stick my neck out for them like I did for the Jaguars. And they won't fuck me like the Jaguars did.
We'll see.
I'm trying to find what their win total is.
They're over under. I think it's like 6.5 or something.
7.5.
Oh.
So, yeah.
But they got an easy 9 wins.
Easy.
So Sam's taking the over.
Yeah.
Kyle, put that into your fake bookie.
Yeah, never put it in bet. Speaking of bets, let's talk some Super Bowl and Super Bowl odds here. So, everyone just tell me what your Super Bowl matchup you think is going to be, would you?
I haven't thought about it yet, so I need some time.
I put it on the outline. You haven't thought about it?
No.
All right, well, I'll say mine first. Or Seth, you say yours first.
My rational one or the one from the heart?
Both, please.
Rationally speaking, I feel like the Saints are the best team in the NFC. And maybe this is their year after getting robbed the last 2 years. And either the Chiefs or the Patriots.
Yeah, I feel like in the AFC, maybe we look at the Steelers as a sleeper to make the Super Bowl. The Steelers are 18-1 to win the Super Bowl. That's a decent bet, I think. And the Texans are 22-1. They have the same odds as...
The fuck? That's weird.
They have the same odds as Green Bay. You telling me the Texans aren't better than Green Bay? 22-1.
What's the
I mean,
Vikings
Pittsburgh
odds?
has the same. Pittsburgh has like just a little worse odds than Chicago. I feel like those are both good bets.
What's the Vikings odds?
28-1.
Oh,
that is pretty
staring
good.
us in the face.
That is pretty good value. I mean, Green Bay has better odds than that. That doesn't make any sense.
That's outrageous.
Green Bay's 22-1, and the Vikings are 28-1.
What, you think Aaron Rodgers is better than Kirk Cousins?
I would say fucking no. That's crying. But I mean, realistically though, in the AFC, it's probably going to be Patriots and Chiefs again, right?
Realistically,
I think if I was logically picking the outcome, I would say Chiefs Rams Super Bowl because everyone's down on the Rams after losing to the Patriots, but they just lost everyone loses to the Patriots.
Yeah,
and
I'm not down on the Rams.
I mean, they also look like ass that entire game.
Right, but that's getting outcoached by Bill Belichick isn't something to be ashamed of. It's the best coach.
I don't even think he got outcoached by Belichick. He outcoached himself. They didn't do anything like special on offense at all.
But he took the blame for that, and he's. I mean, I think his players respect that, and I think that.
I don't even know why you're talking about them. It's the Bears that are going to be either.
I knew you'd say that, but I mean that's. Listen, if you want to nab him at 16-1, I'd be down for that bet. I know you won't put it in.
I'll put it in if we drive to Hammond and go to the sport book.
Where's Hammond?
Indiana,
John
right
Hammond?
over the border.
John Hammond's like callback.
Who is he?
So what do you think out of the AFC? Patriots? Chiefs?
I'd probably go with Chiefs.
Yeah. I think it'll be Chiefs and then one of Saints, Rams.
However, I could see the Browns or the Texans.
I think Texans are good value at 22-1. That seems really low.
I'd be shocked if the Browns made the Super Bowl. I'd be floored.
Me too.
I mean, I've took the Browns to the Super Bowl many a time, so.
I often take the Cubs to the Stanley Cup. All right, should we move on to...
What does that mean, do you think?
MVP odds? All right, so I found a juicy one for you guys.
No, you didn't.
Are you ready for this?
Yeah.
Deshaun Watson is at 18-1, and that's the same odds as Mitchell Trubisky. You telling me Deshaun Watson isn't way better than Mitchell Trubisky?
I am not telling you that. I agree.
Yeah, he's 18-1, along with Mitchell, right around the range of Phillip Rivers.
Okay.
Deshaun should be like the third favorite.
There's no way Phillip Rivers wins MVP.
I feel like Deshaun should be like the second favorite behind Patrick Mahomes to win MVP.
Who is the favorite?
Patrick.
Who's the second favorite?
50. Aaron Rodgers is 10-1. Baker Mayfield 11-1. Carson Wentz 11-1.
Andrew Luck.
Andrew Luck 12-1. Maybe this isn't that updated, but I don't know. I think that's good value. Carson's probably good value too. It's always a quarterback, right? So
most of the time, yeah.
that's why that award is stupid.
Matt Ryan's interesting. At 26-1.
Yeah, but they had to root for Matt Ryan and his flushed face. He might as well have 8 kids. The way I feel about him.
The players you choose to hate.
Kirk Cousins 40-1.
Incredible.
Oh, juicy!
Not tempted at all.
What if he doesn't throw into the defensive line every 5 throws?
Then he might be like slightly above average. That'd be nice.
I think Deshaun has a good chance to win MVP if they go like 12-4 and 13-3, win the division.
And he's the best player. Then he'll probably win MVP.
He was already great last year, and
Yeah.
he lost a lung, as you know. So
He couldn't even take a plane.
Yeah,
He had to drive to
he had to
some
take
games.
a bus to the game. I mean, listen, people regenerate lungs all the time. So as long as he does that, I think we're good.
Yeah. Although I see why Mahomes is the favorite. I mean,
sure.
I really don't think he's going to regress very much. Maybe not quite 50 touchdowns, but
I mean, I'm sure he'll get better. Like actual.
you would think he'd actually get better. Yeah.
I mean, stats wise, he might not get better, but he might be more efficient or like you know. What do you think? What's a good value there?
Where?
MVP odds.
MVP? I told you. Matt Ryan. And
Put me in for
but
Deshaun.
I like
We'll
Deshaun.
drive to Hammond.
Yeah, let's do it.
Where's Hammond?
It's right over the border.
I'm going to be in Vegas in November. I can just do it then.
Yeah, but the odds are going to be different in November.
That's
Season
true.
of ours.
Doesn't matter. You're never going to put in a bet anyway.
If we go to Hammond,
The Hammond, they say, is the Las Vegas of Indiana.
that's the truth.
All right, to wrap it up, you guys want to talk about fantasy? Because obviously everyone wants to hear about our fantasy team.
Which one? I have like 6 teams this year.
I want to know. All right, I need some input. I'm thinking of team names.
Oh,
So
so am I. It's tough.
for the ACT League, which we're in, where the loser has to take the ACT, which we hope is Matt every year, but it isn't always. I have Nick Chubb, so I have to obviously make a Chubb joke. So should I just be half Chubb, or I have a half Chubb, or your team's about to have a half Chubb?
That seems too long.
Just half Chubb?
I have a half Chubb maybe. Do you though?
I mean, if we're speaking truthfully. And then my other team, I have Cooper Kupp, so I was thinking, like, my cup runneth over or something like that, or, like,
You want the life? You want the cup of your life?
no one's going to get that, though,
I
except
know.
us.
That's an inside joke.
Is there, like, a joke about a jockstrap I could be making? Because that's a cup, right? So, like, watch out. My cup. I don't know. What is another cup joke? My cup is half
Oh,
full.
you got Robert Woods. You could be half Chubb, Morning Woods.
Right.
Oh.
But that's too long. I was thinking about combining Woods and Chubb into one penis joke, but I just thought it might ramble on too much. Also, I have George Kittle, so I was thinking something with Skittles, like 5.5 Chubb and bring me some Skittles or something.
You could be Fuller Chubb.
Fuller Chubb. Yeah.
Fuller Chubb.
Fuller Chubb.
I don't like it.
I don't like it either. I could be elementary, my dear Watson. I have a half Chubb.
That should fit.
I can't leave anything for any of mine. No puns of any kind. Obviously, I could always go with Too Many Cooks, but I only have one cook.
Too Many Cooks is good. He
There's
has
only
Delvin
one
Cook for those listening at home. What about Austin Poopers? The Austin Poopers.
I kind of just want to pick up DJ Chark, so I can make my team name DJ Chark Juju.
Oh, Baby Shark! It's like Baby Shark. See, but I think you can't name your team after someone on your bench because you might drop them. So I always do a starter. You know.
Yeah.
Just be the Austin Poopers and Photoshop his face onto a poop emoji like I did with Amari Cooper. But then I actually made my team with the Amari Poopers, traded Amari Cooper, but kept the name because, you know.
Yeah, this is tough.
That's got to be half Chubb, right? I mean, what else is even
Yeah.
good?
Keep it simple.
Yeah.
Should we review Matt's team? Let's see how
That's
bad.
I
we
really
should
hope
know.
Matt takes the ACT this year. So he revealed actually during our draft that he had the least points scored last year, but still didn't
But
get
scraped
last.
by, yeah.
Scraped by and finished like third to last. What's his team look like this?
Okay.
Well, he drafted the Bears defense in what, like the 10th
7th
round?
yeah.
I think this is like 10th year or something like that. All right,
His team's
so
ass. This is the roast of Matt Rossetti. Everyone listen. He's also our number one fan of this podcast.
quarterback, Matt Ryan.
That's
I like
fine,
it.
but you'd have to root for Matt Ryan then.
Running back, James Conner.
I like that.
I like
actually.
it.
I like his team so far.
Running back 2, Chris Carson.
It's okay. I mean,
Yeah, I'm not too high on him this year. Michael Thomas, wide receiver 1.
Nice.
Wide receiver 2,
Ooh.
Mike Williams.
That should not be a wide
That's
receiver
tough.
too.
Yeah.
Tight end, another Chargers player, Hunter Henry.
I'm down 100 this year. There, I said it.
His flex, Derrick Henry. I hate the entire
Derrick
Tennessee
Henry,
organization. No one should ever be rostered.
Honestly, get rid of Tennessee out of the league.
Other flex, Sony Michel.
That's good as a flex.
I like some
Decent.
this year as a flex, yeah.
Bears drafted in round 11. And then he's got Greg DeLeg.
Probably drafted it early as
Greg
well.
DeLeg.
Yeah, he was drafted. He wasn't in the last round.
I mean, it's not terrible, honestly.
No.
I don't think...
However, his bench.
He is Ted Ginn Jr.? He's still alive? Jesus Christ.
I'll work my way up.
Okay.
Bottom of his bench,
Yeah.
Ted Ginn Jr.
Awful.
Then, last round pick of Jalen Richard.
Terrible.
Adrian Peterson
God,
sitting on there.
he's still alive?
Anthony Miller, who is injured
That's okay.
still.
I think he might be fine.
And then my guy, DJ Moore.
He also has Deshaun Jackson, who is never good.
So not a lot of depth.
No.
He's
No depth.
Decent, like, with his, like, Michael Thomas, James Conner combo
Yeah,
is
that's
not
good.
bad.
Like I'm playing him first week, and he
Guaranteed
said,
to beat.
"Hey, I'm projected to beat you," and all I did was change one player out for one player on my bench, and I am now projected to beat him.
You heard it here first. Matt will be taking the ACT again this year.
We can only hope.
Yeah.
I mean, let's review.
He's the one that wants to the most. I feel
Here's
like
the
he
thing.
enjoys
Yeah, I
it.
think he does too.
The
So Merlina
exhilaration got
texted me
him.
the day after and said, "So I won the draft." So let's review his too.
So,
for our other
for those
listener.
that don't know, Merlina is taking the ACT this year because he lost
In 2
weight
weeks?
last year. But through a random number generator, he actually got the first pick in this year's draft, which is some sort of poetic justice for having to take the ACT.
All right. So first off, I see he's rostered. He has 2 quarterbacks.
That's fine. I do too.
I mean, I'm usually against it in 10-team
Well,
leagues.
if you have
The quarterback
if you have an oft-injured quarterback,
He doesn't.
that's true. He doesn't.
Starting, Drew Brees.
Fair.
All right, the man's old. Saquon Barkley,
Love him.
good pick at number 1. Joe Mixon, likes to beat women.
Yeah, I don't like that.
Antonio Brown. Does he
That's
have a
his
helmet
wide
yet that
receiver
works?
one? I would be nervous about
we
that.
know if he
He's
has a
TY
helmet?
as well.
I don't like T.Y. either.
Of course, he took Ty. insider for the Colts.
God, his team is ass.
Jared Cook, tight end.
I don't like any of his.
I haven't seen a New Orleans tight end do anything since I entered, but...
Entered what?
What the hell was that guy's name? Jimmy Graham, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was, years ago? Eons.
It's like 2011.
Yeah.
Kenny Galladay in the flex.
I like Galladay.
I like Galladay, but Detroit as a whole, I just hate because Matt
I'd rather have
Patricia's
a
stupid.
second wide receiver and a good offense and Kenny Galladay on the Detroit. Like,
And
I'd
then
rather have Robert Woods than him.
Phillip Lindsay, I'm kind of down on him this year too.
Yeah, same. Royce is going to have a bigger role, I think.
Royce is not injured anymore, so he's going to have a bigger role. Saints D. See, I mean,
Who really knows?
I kind of like the Saints D, but at the same time, the
fucking
first
knows
week
about
they're playing Houston, so I wouldn't start a defense against Houston.
That's the problem. I drafted the Jaguars, and the first week they're playing the Chiefs, I realized.
Yeah.
So I'm fucked. And I
Drop
don't want
him,
to
mix
carry
someone else up.
Yeah.
He's got Gaskowski as a kicker, whatever. And then,
So, okay, he fucked me. He took Baker in the 7th round, which I really wanted Baker. But then I realized Deshaun's still there.
Yeah.
And Deshaun's better. And he's
So
not even
did he
starting
fuck you?
Baker,
Yeah.
which is weird.
So, bench Baker, Sammy Watkins.
Fuck him.
I'm alright with Sammy, but I mean...
Penny's nice. He's got Penny.
No, Penny's ass cheeks.
Why have a Penny?
Peyton
we got a
Barber,
nickel, though?
ass cheeks.
Yeah,
LaShawn McCoy,
Jesus! This guy...
and Golden
Jeez.
Tate.
Yeah, he's taking the ACT again. One of those two.
I hope it's one of those two. I also really would like to see Drew take the ACT.
That
That would
would
be
be
incredible. Drew, if you're listening. Drew might be listening, actually. We'd
No
love
way.
for you to take the ACT. Alright, any final thoughts? Because we're in an
I
hour
would never.
And I have to pee.
You peed like 6 times already this morning, so yeah, it is about time for you.
I have the bladder the size of a small pea. The food.
Drew's
How
team
much
is interesting.
how much does pea size vary, really? I feel like they're all pretty
Bladder
much the same
size, you mean?
size. No.
Oh.
The food.
No, have you heard of like the princess and the pea?
Yeah.
That's small.
I can't believe how many people have 2 quarterbacks on their roster.
Well, there's so many quarterbacks.
You might
It's
as
like
well
30.
just nab one if you
That's
want.
what I'm saying. It's like
But I want
we have a smaller roster this year.
Although I
and
do
there's
have
only
2 quarterbacks.
and there's
on my
only
team.
10 people in our
We don't have
league.
a small roster, just one of them's a flex instead of a bench.
That's why I mean we have a smaller bench this
Yeah.
year.
I might just drop Mitchell, but I thought I'd nab him.
I just picked up Lamar in case he takes off,
Yeah.
and then
I mean, my
Dominant.
quarterback lost a lung last year, as you know. So
Like you guys are all holding those players, but you were telling me how much you think Ben Roethlisberger's going to throw. He's on the waivers.
I wouldn't
Kirk
draft
Cousins
him
on the
anyway.
labor.
Well, Kirk Cousins should be on the waivers in the real NFL.
Yeah.
yeah, quarterback is weird this year.
Yeah.
All
Very
right.
deep. As is my soul.
Well,
What has this been, Seth?
I don't know, some podcast that
It's supposed to be good for you?
no one wanted, no one deserved, and no one needed,
Kyle, what
no
do
one
you-
desired.
Just tell me what happened on the 4th day.
the 4th. I'm not sure, but well, the 3rd. He rose again. That's for sure.
My half Trevor Rose, I'll tell you how much.